Okay, everybody, we have a pretty big update right here that they are showing. It's crafting updates, a new weapon, the rapier. So, there's going to be several new weapons when I finally get to play. It's going to be sweet. So far, I got to try the spear. Looking forward to it. Rapier. Wasn't really much of a rapier type of person, but we'll see how New World goes. And the Great Axe. Those three new weapons I'm definitely looking forward to. They're all melee, and we all know how I love melee. Unfortunately, no dual wielding yet. I really hope dual wielding comes into play, but Sword and Shield's the closest thing I can get to dual wielding. But until then, let's get going this update. Looks like Clyde's awake. Alright, so you just got the normal greetings there. New weapon rapier. Weapon includes a new melee weapon. So the new rapier is what I thought it was going to be. Parrying, dodging, and bleeding. Because you poke. You're poking them. You're not hacking, you're not slashing, you're just poking. And it is glorious. If you can see, like, right here, it's just a poke. A pretty powerful poke, but a poke nonetheless. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how the bleed works, and you build bleed stacks on an enemy and you expunge them to do additional damage depending on the stack that you have, is one of the things you get. And of course you have the weapons graces, which is parrying, dodging, evasion, all that good stuff, which is going to be pretty fun. And of course you get the legendary quest that you could do right here. Wonder how that's going to be. Legendary. I've never actually played a legendary weapons, so I didn't get that far because I was split between crafting and fighting. Alright, now the new crafting changes. We have major changes to increase the number of items players can craft by an additional function. So the whole crafting system, they made it so it's more viable towards endgame, which is super nice. And you can now craft named items with special resources that they have scattered around the map, which they talk about in these patch notes right now, which is going to be super cool. But they've also added, where was it? Oh, they added it so trading skills, gathering, trading, all that good stuff, now caps at 200. So gathering and trading now caps at 200. I don't know where it was capped at before. Was it 100? I think it was 100. Now it caps at 200. That's a pretty big thing. But another thing that they did, oh, it's down below more. Crafting modes, trade skill items start at tier 2. Oh, they made it so you can now change like what resources you put. I wish I can zoom in on this. I guess you can see it right here. But the new crafting that they're doing, new recipes, you can get what is it? Recipes. Oh, buff. They're now adding buff food and regen food. Regen food will be more for outside combat, like outside combat regen. It'd be like before you enter a fight. In combat, buff food, not combat buff foods. Buff foods now persist after death, which is nice. But the new dynamic crafting that they have, the crafting system is getting better and better, I feel. And it is nice because it's not going to be useless at the very end. And they're also adding repair kits for all those extra mats that you have and you don't know what to do with them, besides just crafting another weapon of that type, I guess. But now you have repair kits that you could take on the go, which will be nice if you're going on a long incursion in a dungeon or something, deep into territory maybe. But the repair kits are nice, for sure. All of the crafting changes are pretty nice. I'll have, of course, the link below if you guys want to go over it yourself. Because I am skipping over some stuff. For at least for the crafting. Just covering the main bit. But they've introduced 100 new named weapons and new armor pieces. That's a lot of armor and named weapons. And each of those is going to have back... here's the repair kit thing I was talking about before. The lore behind all the named stuff. And if you craft an item, you can also craft named stuff with... I already said that. That's right. I'm getting ahead of myself, getting a little too excited. Added repair kits, which we're just talking about. So that's nice, and here's that food mechanics I was just talking about a little bit ago. With there now two types of food. Buff food and recovery food. Recovery food is when you're out of combat, get that slow, long-term buff as usual. And then you got the buff food, which will persist after death. That was nice. Now, combat. Oh, I tried to highlight that. Elite enemies now have 1 to 3 affixes on them, like usual, but all enemies above 15. All named enemies above level 15 now utilize the elite system. Sorry, I read that wrong. So that's cool. And so if you're fighting a named enemy that's level 15, he will have 1 to 3 affixes on him. That's cool. Dynamic enemy. See, when I was reading through this, the dynamic mesh scaling was funny. Because this one right here. Where was it? Was it 6 enemies? 6 levels higher or more than the player will outright kill the player instantly. Rather than leaving on pretty much half dead. Not half dead, mostly dead. Whatever. 1 hit. You get it. Knocking on death's door. But the enemies, the higher level they are from you, they will increase the damage and armor that they have. If I'm not mistaken, when I just adjusted how enemies scale their attacks, adding cooldown. So they'll now have cooldowns on their heavy attacks, more resembling the abilities like this one that they have. So it won't be able to just spam heavy attacks on you. And you'll also be able to tell when your grit breaks, they are adding a visual representation of it as well. But now you gotta watch what the enemy's level is comparison to yours. So probably around 3 to levels higher than you will be fine. They're of course going to be difficult because they're going to do more damage, have higher health, have more armor the higher they are from your level. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle. They're also, what was it? The party system XP is getting changed. Now it's going to be better. I guess I could just go with the flow of this instead of getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. Just excited. Always like reading these. Reduce the number, but this is a big one right here. They're reducing the amount of weapons that you can have equipped. So all the people running around with 2 main weapons and then the life staff won't be able to use the life staff unless they want it to be their second choice of weapon. So only 2 weapons now, which I'm okay with. I haven't really played since the preview. But the mount staff was really annoying in the preview because everybody would just spam run everywhere. Which was nice for the range people because they would just dash away, turn around, and just start shooting you again, which was annoying to deal with. Because there's no gap closure unless you yourself is using a life staff. But other than that, now you only can have 2 weapons. So I'll definitely be using a sword and shield. And we'll see what my next weapon choice is. Players kit now. move during ranged attacks animation. So when you're drawing your arrow and holding an aim for a musket, you can now move around, which is super nice, right? It's nice, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Just range attack cancel, so you can now cancel your range attacks as well for more flexibility, like melee players. Update grip break to make it more apparent. No, so like this is what I was saying a little bit ago. You'll be able to tell when somebody's grip breaks now. You'll have a visual cue. And a sound. Added a new grip break sound effect. Highlights players, grip broken. That's cool. Updated combats network. That hitbox dodging. I was having trouble spitting it out. To adjust the hit detection location to add a brief delay before attacks hit are confirmed to better visual and blocking and dodging. That's nice. So now we're getting down to the balancing. There's a water. So Warhammer removed grit from heavy attack startup. When arrows significantly reduce the amount of time the attacker is to lock into attack animation. That's a nice quality of life. Reduce startup frame on light attacks. So I believe that makes him attack faster, if I'm remembering correctly, and the same thing with the fire staff. That's nice. Then we got some talent and quest progression. I'll let you guys go over this with the stuff when you guys go over it. Sorry, I was some more quest factions. See, this is going to be nice for factions. Now you actually have more of an incentive. They're going to be adding more, but you have more of an incentive to take over towns and stay in said town. You'll have reduced taxes. You'll have reduced home pricing and reduce gathering bonus. Wait, reduce gathering bonus for company members in the territory they own to 10%. I may be reading this wrong. I am definitely reading that one wrong. But the party system I was saying earlier, now, before everybody would get full XP no matter what, now it's going to be reduced by a little bit depending on the amount of people you have in your party. And of course you have to achieve certain thresholds like healing, blocking, damage, and all that good stuff. But the radius of it is also been increased, so ranged people like archers, muskets, and stuff like that will also get XP as long as they contribute for the last 2 minutes. So enemies are harder. Enemies are harder now. You can't just go up and fight things 10 levels higher than you or 5 levels higher than you that you normally would be able to. You're going to have to go a little bit slower than normal. So that's nice. It's a nice change of pace, I feel. But the new rapier, I'm definitely looking forward to. Trying the rapier, trying the spear, trying the axe. I want to try all the new stuff. So many new melee weapons. You'll love it. And just chalking a spear at somebody. But the new named enemies is going to be interesting. All the new loot that they added to the game. It's going to be nice. I'm assuming some of the name stuff is going to be super low level too, so you can't just... Where is it going with that? Use like a low level... Go kill a low level enemy and get a high named drop. You guys know what I mean. There's going to be different levels. Low named and high named. It's going to be nice. Can't wait. The food changes is also pretty interesting for the buffs. I like that they are no longer go away after you die. So you don't have to reapply the buff and waste more food. Especially if you just ate, you run out and you die immediately. And then have to re-eat again. It's always a bummer. Always feels bad when you fully buff up, run in, and just get one tapped. It's like, dang it. So now you don't have to worry as much. Parakeets. It's going to be nice. More stuff for traders to sell. make more money. But I'm definitely looking forward to this update as well. So much new stuff is being added. Can't wait to get my hands on it. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Stay safe out there. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.